Continuing conversation around Alabama, Corey Clark. We go to our guy C Swizzle. Wake up! I've heard a lot of different people say that if FSU beats Alabama, it won't be a wow, look at FSU, but more so, look what Kalen DeBoer's done to Alabama. That said, is there any version of the game that you feel would have people singing FSU's praises, or no matter what, will the talking points and the talking heads be around Alabama being on the decline? Obviously, there will be people talking about FSU that are closer to the program, but I'm talking about national media, how they would discuss the game after FSU victory. I mentioned this in the group chat the other day, Corey. I feel like Feinbaum's got his show for September 1st or whatever the day that Monday is after week one, ready to go. Because it's either, Alabama dodged the bullet. Thank God they hired Kalen DeBoer. Look at what he did to Florida State. Or Florida State wins. It's going to be like, hey, listen, they wanted Mike Norvell. He was the first option. But I like the way this looks on screen, but let's make it look a little bit better, dare I say, Corey, because I think it's a really good question. Boom. Let's do that. I think it looks better when it's like that. I think this question is going to be a good one. It's going to be generating discussion sparked by Cummins. The cameras are on. Corey Clark, you know what to do next, please. Ah, man, look at that.
Did them both, old school and new school.
It is generating discussion. It's sparked by Cummins. Give them a follow on Instagram, Cummins Lifestyle. It's all one word. Summer is in full swing, for better or worse. I love the summer. I love the laid-back nature of it around a college town like Tallahassee, Corey, but the heat is brutal. But get out there in Mother Nature. Get out there camping. Get out there rowing, kayaking, set up camp, and have portable power. And make sure it's Cummins. It's reliable. It's quiet. You can have the portable generator. You can also have it in your RV. You can have it on your boat. Whatever you're doing this summer, make sure you got portable power. Make sure you select Cummins, a world power leader. So, Corey, go into the mind of the national media, the evil national media. Do you think Florida State beating Alabama in any way would reflect, well, the storyline would be on Monday would be, wow, Florida State, Mike Norvell, watch out, they're back seemingly? Or do you think it would focus on, wow, Alabama, Nick Saban, they sure do miss him?
Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously the national media is going to focus more on Alabama losing to a team that was 2-10 a season ago. I think the more specific point I want to make to this question is, don't worry about that. Like, don't worry about what the national media says right now. When you go 2-10, they are not going to want to sing your praises. Even if you think there's an SEC bias, you don't get benefit of the doubt after 2-10. Enjoy the win and understand that we at Warchant will absolutely hype up the win. I can promise you that. Don't worry about what's on Feinbaum, because, yes, that's an SEC-specific show, and ESPN is an SEC-specific network, even though they do have the ACC network. So if you want to hear Florida State be praised, obviously do the Warchant rap, do the Sunday Night Smash, do Wake Up Warchant, do Jeff Cameron Show, do Seminole Headlines, and then go to the ACC network for whatever they call that show after the game, the Huddle, because they do a good job. They do a really good job, and I assume they'll be in town since ESPN won't. And enjoy all of the attention that Florida State gets from those outlets. And don't worry so much about what a columnist at The Athletic or USA Today or what Feinbaum or Kirk Herbstreit say. That said, I think it will be twofold. I think the overarching story that would come from a Florida State win is absolutely Kalen DeBoer is immediately on the hot seat. Immediately. Because he will then be, 9-4, 9-5? That'll be his fifth loss at Alabama in a little over a year and one game, when it would take Saban 3 years to lose 5 games. So, yes, he's immediately on the hot seat. But who cares? Honestly, and I'm not trying to dismiss the question. It's a good question. It's a fair question. And I hope we get to see the answer. I hope we get to live this reality. But if you just beat Alabama to go 1-0, it's a great feeling, sure, especially coming on the heels of last year. But you're Florida State. Don't puff your chest out too much. You're supposed to win games. And don't become exasperated or ill-willed because you don't get the attention you think you deserve. You didn't just beat Ohio State. Alabama wasn't great last year. So all the attention is going to be on DeBoer in the hot seat. Conversely, if Florida State, say, loses 40-6, Norvell becomes a storyline real quick. If it's a close game one way or the other, Norvell's coaching tenure, coaching career isn't really questioned that much. If he gets boat raced, then it becomes a hot topic real quick, and that's certainly not something you want. Because then that means if they're talking about Florida State a lot in the national media, it'll be about Mike Norvell's job security, which means the game did not go well.
Bama's they're gettable. This isn't, and that's the reason why I think it ultimately, no matter what happens, I do think the story becomes, it'll be like, great win by Florida State. Seems like Norvell, has figured out some things here, but it's instantly going to pivot. I can see like Mike Greenberg shows the highlight on, also another game because they're going to talk about Ohio State, Texas. They might talk about LSU, Clemson. Then they'll come to the Alabama, Florida State game. They'll show a quick highlight of it. They'll be like, great win by Florida State. Obviously shows that Mike Norvell's got some things, improved. But the story is definitely going to be Alabama. We bring in our own and they're going to bring Paul Feinbaum on a split screen. They're going to talk about Alabama. This Bama team, we'll see. I don't remember how people talked about LSU after that first game in 2023 that they lost. I think they were kind of left for dead in the SEC, but then Jaden Daniels ended up being a really great story. But listen, man, they've got a really special wide receiver and a really special left tackle. They used to have that at every position in multiple with Nick Saban. Like they do not have that. So this is going to be a team that's not nearly as gifted as what Nick Saban had Alabama chugging along at. So I think that's ultimately, unfortunately, going to kind of be the story. But fortunately, it means that they're gettable and you can beat them. And that's going to give you great momentum going to the rest of the season if you can pull it off.
100%. Yeah. And that's what's more important than whether on that Monday people are talking glowingly about your program or they're giving too much attention to, like, I get it. It would be a little, I get how
it's nice. It's nice to, it's nice to be at the airport flying back to maybe Nashville or wherever you're coming from to watch a Florida State game. And, you're at the airport bar grabbing a drink and they've got PTI and they're talking about Florida State doing really well. Like it matters, man. They like you and Ira and Jeff, but like, it's kind of cool to hear some of the people in Bristol and around the country also, speak well about the Noles.
Sure. And I get that. I would say that, but it's to be understood. Like I get that it could be frustrating that if you lose to a team, it's all of a sudden, what's wrong with that team that just lost to, if you beat a team, it's all of a sudden, what's wrong with that team that just lost to Florida State? That would be the topic is what's wrong with Alabama? Is Alabama broken because they lost to Florida State? Man, I get that would be frustrating, but you don't get the final say on stuff like that when you go 2-10. It's the remnants of 2-10. So it's the farther you get away from that, the more they will sing your praises. And look, in November, if you're 9-1, they might absolutely be singing praises about the Alabama game and the Alabama win. That matters a lot more than September 1st. November 1st and what they're saying nationally about your team matters a lot, or not saying matters a lot more on November 1st than it does on September 1st. So I literally don't envision a scenario where Florida State beats Alabama and Alabama isn't the bigger story on ESPN. Let's just call it what it is. ESPN is the national. There's nobody cares about
FS1,
what Dan Wilkins writing on USA Today. So it really is just what ESPN is saying. And yes, Alabama will be the bigger story on ESPN. Them losing right now in 2025 is a bigger story than Florida State winning. But that's because of 2-10, and it's because of Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban, all that. It could change real quick by November. And by November, if you're beating Clemson, they will be singing your praises because you're 10-0 and ranked number 2 in the country.
We need to maybe delete this video. I'll delete this video immediately after the game if they lose. I feel like Alabama fans are probably bookmarking a lot of the videos we've done on this.
It's not like we're saying they're going to win. We're saying what it would mean if they won.
Like, oh, you guys spent 9 minutes wondering what it would be like, the messaging around if you beat us. How dare you even spend 9 minutes of your day thinking you could beat almighty Alabama? Why
don't you spend 9 minutes of your day trying to look up words in the dictionary and learn how to spell them? Let's go, Aslan. That's right. That just hey, I know we have a lot of fans from Alabama. A lot of Florida State fans live in Alabama. I'm not trying to take a shot at your state. I'm taking a shot at the people that root for your state college.
There we go. Congrats to C Swizzle 8. He will be entered into our monthly drawing for a free Cummins gift bag with shirts, hats, portable batteries, and then obviously enter into the grand prize drawing at the end of the year for a portable generator and portable power station, all courtesy of our great friends at Cummins. Give them a follow. Cummins Lifestyle, all one word on Instagram. Corey, do what you also do when we say goodbye.